Alright, and welcome to another edition of Open Mic Wrestling Night here, live, and not so much in living color if you're listening to this not in a live window, on Twitch, and I will be live and in living color in now. There we go, and let's adjust the camera here. There we go. Alright, welcome to Open Mic Wrestling Night here, twitch.tv/Calypso426 if you're not listening in a live window. If you want to listen to the replay of this show, if you're listening to this recorded, you're likely listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on the Fill in the Void Podcast Network, Spreaker.com/filling_the_void. Okay, so we have, I have really a couple of announcements to make, and one is going to be a guest announcement. Actually, now it's three. I lied. WrestleMania week schedule, guest for WrestleMania week, and the third one, I was going to do it right away, but I'll wait till towards the end of the show if you care so much as to follow along with me here. Anyway, so we have Greywolf Raventhorne, joining me at about 8:30, so we have that to get going with. We're also going to talk about the WWE wrestlers that are requesting their release, what Vince McMahon can and will do to hold them back from going anywhere else, which I found very interesting, by the way, and I'm sure you will as well if you haven't already heard the news. And then discussing about what's going on with the women's wrestlers right now, with the new tag team titles being announced. It's not Raw, it's not SmackDown, but it's the WWE Tag Team Championships, or WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and it's going to make things interesting around WWE, but I'll get more into that a little bit later. I kind of wanted to get started here on a rather somber note, actually, because Rex Backus, who is Florida pro wrestler, MLW talent, has passed away, unfortunately. I haven't actually gotten the word of how old he was, but he was very young, battled cancer for a couple of years. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is, you hear of all these wrestlers going and everything, but I want to give those the proper respect of acknowledging that what they've done for wrestling, all the tributes and everything for Rex has been actually pretty awesome. And I'm going to actually see if I can find couple of them here, because they're coming in from all over the place. Gabe Sapolsky tweeted, "Saddened to hear about the passing of Rex Backus. He was part of the WWN family and a big part of the Florida scene. He fought a brave battle against cancer. Condolences to his friends and family." Paro, saddened to hear the passing of Rex Backus this morning. The Florida wrestling community will miss you. I always remember our conversations before and after every Florida show. It was a pleasure to have shared in our wrestling journey together. Rest easy, my friend. Then MLW puts out a statement that Dr. Rex Backus has passed away. Gregory Helms didn't really know Rex Backus, but a lot of good people have been affected by his passing. Sorry to hear about a life lost so young. And this point, I kind of wanted to throw it out there, and it's kind of the reason why I'm starting off with this here today. Joe Gacy had tweeted, "I did not know Rex Backus, neither did I, for full disclosure. But I hate to see when the world and wrestling loses a good person and brother. Very sad to hear this. Anyone that knew him, let me know if I can ever do anything to help." My thoughts are with you all. The whole point of reason why I brought this up is because it doesn't matter who the person is for the most part, unless unbelievable circumstances of other ways of death. We'll leave it at that at this time. But when you see somebody who is so young, very talented, I finally got it because I never really got a chance to see him on video or anything, and I had the chance when I got home today to search through a couple of his matches. Very talented, full of character, everything. I mean, the guy really, his attitude was contagious in the sense of you couldn't help but have fun and enjoy what he was doing in the ring. But the point of it is, when one goes in the wrestling family, everybody mourns. And instead of acknowledging solely on the big names who have passed away, like a Gene Okerlund, for example, from recent memory, among others. One of my things that I really took pride in doing my show, and the way that I'm starting to do it again, is that I took pride in, and I still do, getting the names of independent talent out there. I tweeted it out one time. It's cool to interview the bigger names, and I've done a couple, but there's nothing better than getting an independent talent out there, whether they're an indie darling or not, to get their take on things and talk to them about shop, and to make sure that their story is heard too, whether they've been on a million podcasts or not. Their story on this show might be different than the story that they told on another show because something else had maybe come up. So, but I really like interviewing those who are kind of just getting started, giving practice talking to somebody in an interview-like setting. But, I digress and I apologize. But the, hey Chris, the point that why I was making that point was, if I'm going to take the time and pride myself in acknowledging the independent talent in life, I'm going to acknowledge them in death as well. And, again, Rex passing away of cancer hits really close to home for me. I've known and I've lost many friends and loved ones to cancer. So it's sad to see somebody so young go because of it. And the only thing that I can do is, like I'll reiterate this again, when one member of the wrestling family goes, we all mourn. So instead of mourning the loss, celebrate his life, go watch his matches on YouTube. Please go do yourself a favor and take a look at how good he was. It's just sad to see that potential gone so soon. And just as a sidebar, he was on the Indie Power Rankings lists a lot, whether it be the People's Champions or the actual top 10s. He was on there a lot. And according to one person who I'd spoken to about this, he didn't really know him too well either. Oh, he knew him well enough because, again, he was with IPR and got to know him through there. Quote, he was a good dude, loved the old Hasbro WWF figures, and then acknowledging that he had battled cancer for a couple of years. So, I just want to send my deepest condolences to Rex Backus, whose real name is Chris Sims, to his family, his friends, his colleagues, everybody else who has been affected by his loss. And, again, I like to acknowledge the wrestlers. I like to acknowledge independent wrestlers in all ways, shape, or form. And this is one of the unfortunate ways that it's a part of life, but I want to give him some time and recognition because of his contributions to the world of pro wrestling. I felt that it was appropriate to do so. If you want to call in, and we'll have a little bit of a window here before Greywolf comes on, but 657-383-0105 if you're listening, or if you're watching live here on Twitch. If you want to comment on Twitch chat, you're more than welcome to do so as well. I actually took the liberty of uploading a match from Rex Bacchus and from Carlos Indy, who had provided the Critical Mayhem match that you've seen here on the podcast a couple of times. And I wanted to share that with you. For me, it's my best way of acknowledging his memory and just showcasing him in one way or another. I'm sorry that it had to be of this circumstance, but I want to do my part and show the world what talent he was, and he'll be missed by his friends and family and colleagues, and pro wrestling lost another one, and according to many, one of the good ones. And unfortunately, as the song goes, only the good die young. Let's go over to the match right now, and when I come back, we'll have a little time to chat before we get to Greywolf. And after Greywolf, we got a lot to talk about in the world of pro wrestling, but also including two big announcements that I have to make. Actually, three. Make that three. So hang in there. Thank you for tuning in, and we're back. The gentleman who did get pinned was Rex Bacchus. Again, he had passed away after a long battle of cancer, and figured I would do my part in showing a match of his. Ooh, jeez. I didn't realize that I was going to be moving everything. Anyway, still to come, Greywolf Raventhorne will be joining the show shortly. Wrestlers are wanting to get out of their contracts. The women's evolution and, recent developments, and I have an interesting guest coming on to talk about that, hopefully short at that time. And then three big announcements. So I really look forward to getting all of that situated